live stream in the live stream, doing the stuffs and the things in the live stream, fixing my hair in the live stream, because it's a live stream. For live streams, you do the live stream and have a live stream, because it's a live stream and we love live streams. Who doesn't? Everybody. The whole world secretly loves Drew Skaggs live streams. They just don't know it yet. Because that's how it works. That's how it works when you have 1,800 subscribers. The whole world actually likes your content. Also, the growth that we've been doing lately, the fact that we kind of shot right past, after like teetering around 18,000 or 1,800, one day 18,000, but after teetering around 1,800 for a while, we kind of shot past to 1812, and I think that's really amazing. I've been seeing a lot more growth lately. Hello. And it's pretty exciting. I'm pretty excited about how the channel's been doing, how the content's been doing extra live streams. Got some content out. I need to keep up on that. But yeah, pretty excited. Pretty excited about life and stuff right now. How are you today, Eric?
Now you got the next one out?
Yeah, I'll let you do the the not fun part of the initial sort, and then I'll come in and show you how it's done.
Oh, is that what we're gonna do?
I started while I was waiting for my daughter to go to bed, but then I had to get back to my things. So the Atheist Worldview is what I put for the title. Plot twist, it's not a thing. But a lot of people think it is. It was 65 degrees. Now it's snowing. What state are you in? Because we had snow. It's been freezing today, and we got a little bit of snow yesterday. It didn't nothing that stuck. But like the day before that, it was like in the 70s. We had windows open and everything. It's crazy. And then it's supposed to, end of the week, I think around the equinox, it's supposed to be like 80 and 85. Maryland? Okay. Kansas is playing that game too. Yeah, it's supposed to be at the end of the week, it's supposed to be up into the 80s, and then it's supposed to drop back to like the 40s. Because why not? Whatever. This is why we can't have nice things. What can you do? Is your snow sticking at all? Because I don't think ours even stuck for a minute. I think it was just kind of like wisping in the air. I got a comment. I got a comment today that I got like yesterday or whatever. And it's just it's I don't want to be mean or anything, but like of course it is. Of course it's so it was basically, and I'll read it verbatim if I can find it. But there it is. So obviously I posted again recently talking about how all the Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam all worship the same God. They just go different directions with it because that's just kind of a thing. And naturally, I still got some of that, no, you're not right because, they're different, even though in my explanation, I said they're different, they went different directions with it. And there's no bad or dumb comments, but somebody said, I'll grant you they believe and worship the same God, but they do not follow the same God. I'll grant you they believe and worship the same God, but they don't follow the same God. if you believe in a God and worship said God, and you are believing in and worshiping said God correctly, would it not stand to reason that you're also following that God? Trump is the Antichrist? Maybe. Like, it's there's good arguments. There's better arguments for Christianity, for the existence of a God, things of the like. And so I get really annoyed when I just hear, we believe and worship, and then they said they, not we, so maybe it's just an atheist, I don't know, but still, they believe and worship the same God, but don't follow the same God. I'm sorry, that's dumb. And if the person who left that is listening, like, I'm sorry, that's just dumb. That's like the bottom of the barrel, theist playing with words and using definitions of words that nobody fucking uses, and cartwheeling around definitions and stuff to try to like say you're wrong while also saying that you're right or whatever. Like, that bothers me. Believe in and worship the same God, but don't follow the same gods. It's crazy. Read Revelations. I always hesitate. I don't know if you guys notice. I always hesitate when I go and grab this Bible, because the King James is like my least favorite to read, just because of the language. But I don't know. It's the one that a lot of people. I don't know. Like, if I have a lot of Christians in chat, or if there's any Christians in chat now, out of like the NRSV, the New American Bible, and the King James, like which would y'all prefer that I grab? Because I feel like most Christians would prefer me grabbing the King James, but maybe I'm wrong. 24. No need for. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Jesus and for the word of God, in which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands, and lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years. Cool. What does that do for us? Mr. Trump, you have been elected to fulfill a heavenly mission to establish an international divine court for all the nations. Sure. I mean, that's just kind of religious propaganda and whatnot. I don't really care. Yeah, it's weird. As far as, and I don't know like how deep you're going into this, as far as like the Revelation goes, it's nonsense. Revelations, when people have been saying for generations and generations that we're in the end times and that this is the fulfillment of end time prophecy and whatnot, and like we're the last generation, and then like it didn't happen, and then people have been, saying this is the mark of the beast, or this is the sign of the whatever. No, this is the mark of the beast, and this is the sign of whatever, and then like the next generation is like, no, they had that wrong. This is actually the right sign. It's the prophecies, the end time prophecies in the Bible are way too vague and open to interpretations. And people, generation to generation, have said, like, no, this is the mark of the beast. No, this is the mark of the beast. No, this is that sign. This is that sign. And we're still here, So it's the boy who cried wolf at this point. And it's, all right, sorry. And it's not very compelling. Especially, like, religiously charged individual or group sending Trump a letter thinking that it's the end times. I'm pretty sure like it's common for religious groups to think that we're in the end times or something special is happening with their lives or whatever, and we're still here. There's like 2,000 years after Jesus left and said, hey, some of you aren't going to die until I come back and heaven and earth pass away and all that stuff, but it's been 2,000 years and he's still not here. So it's just the boy who cried wolf at this point. Not very compelling. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. I could always be wrong. No, Allah is not Yahweh. Allah is what Yahweh becomes when you twist and add and go a different direction with the narrative. As I said in the video, but people don't like listening to it. Because people don't like hearing that they're all worshiping the same God. Because they hate the other people who are worshiping the same God as them. Because they're doing it wrong or whatever. What can you do? What can you do? I did. You can tell I've gotten more followers across the platforms because I did get more people agreeing with me than I did last time I posted something about that. You can tell like I've gotten more followers and the algorithm is like pushed, more towards that direction. And I see that across my all my comment sections. I'm not just getting swamped by angry theists every single time that I post. It's kind of nice. Not gonna lie. It doesn't make for good content. If you remember, a lot of my early content was just responding to Christians and theists in my comment section. But a lot of the people nowadays, say a lot of the same things that I've already made videos on. So I have gotten confused. Are you an atheist? I am an atheist. I know I like to be vague and toyful about it, but I am an atheist. Unless I'm not. Unless I'm lying. You never really know.
How can you be sure?
How can you be sure? Trump, sorry, I cannot read tonight. Trump took MAGA to Brokeback Mountain and gave them what they wanted. He rode them hard. What can you do? What can you do? Do we have any held comments? Christianity doesn't make sense. You have no sin if you believe, so it's basically like atheism with extra steps. I mean, that's not really accurate. I also don't know why it hit it. I just thought maybe you were deconstructing still. I've been an atheist for 2.5, 3 years now. Yeah, I mean, the deconstruction, when you leave Christianity or really any religion, deconstruction is something that's a kind of an ongoing process. It never really ends, at least as far as I've been able to tell, just through my story and other people's stories. It's constantly peeling back layers of a never-ending onion, and you don't know that certain layers are layers that need to be peeled back until like you get to them and you realize, oh, that's because of my religious upbringing that I believe that. I didn't even know that was from that. So who knows where anyone is on their deconstruction journey. It is a journey. I'd like to say that I'm still on a deconstruction journey, maybe even a spiritual journey. You never know. Just going out and trying to find my way. I would still like there to be a God or an afterlife or spirits, spiritual energy, all that stuff. I would be down. Maybe not any of the gods of the proposed religions thus far, but like something else out there. Reincarnation would be pretty cool. I think that's one of the ones that I'm kind of like leaning more towards. But maybe that's just my attachment to earthly life that I need to let go of or something like that. There will be no rapture. Yeah, probably not. I mean, we don't know, but like it doesn't really look like it. I was raised with Catholics but never believed. It wasn't until I was 8 that I found out the people around me claimed to really believe it. I was really freaked out. I know someone who was like that who I grew up with, because I believed in all that stuff. Someone I grew up with, after I deconstructed later on in life, she's like, yeah, never really. I always thought like the Noah's Ark and stuff were just stories. I didn't think like she believed in stuff, and she still believes that there's something else out there. She's not a Christian anymore. Um, she's more like karma and energy and kind of more Eastern stuff. But yeah, there are people who grow up just thinking that these were all just stories to teach us lessons or morals or whatever. But then there are people like me who actually thought they were real. What can you do? I was also raised Catholic. Went to Catholic school, K through 12th grade. It's pretty fun. Nothing like having a statue of a man being publicly executed set up in every single classroom and in the hallways and in every other room in the school and whatnot. Nothing like, getting dragged to Stations of the Cross when you were like in first grade and, taught about how Jesus was scourged and how chunks of meat and flesh were ripped off of him and he was beaten and bloody because, 6, 7, 10-year-olds need to hear all about that stuff. It's pretty great. It was what it was. Amen. I love Jesus. Finally, someone talking about the King. Well, this might not really be the live for you. I'm not really saying nice things about him. I guess I haven't said anything mean about him yet in this live, but like, peruse my channel. It's there. Catholic school from 1 to 9. I didn't talk to my mom for a year. She let me go to public school after that. Hey, whatever works, I guess. Yeah, it was weird. I didn't have a public school experience until college. I went to a community college. Which is crazy because going to college and kind of stepping outside of, that Catholic bubble into like the secular world or whatever and, getting a job and whatnot really helped open my eyes to the broader world outside of, the bubble that I was raised in. And it's so interesting and almost sad when I see my books fell over. When I see that is sad. When I see how did you configure yourself like that? They fell over and then that book on the end like flipped and turned. It's weird. Anyway. What the fuck was I even talking about? I don't even know. Do you think we should teach kids Jesus was a Roman psychope to subject the Jews? I don't really think we need to teach kids about Jesus, really. Frankly. Or if we do, teach it just like we would Zeus or anyone else, just like, some people believe in this stuff. But no, it's interesting and sad. I saw some of my friends and classmates went to Catholic college, because in my area there were a couple Catholic colleges available, or at least Christian colleges available. So it's like, damn, you didn't get out of that bubble. You just went and got more of that indoctrination and stuff. Isn't that fun? Hello. I got detention the first day of Catholic school for having the wrong color socks in gym. That'll do it. I had to walk laps a couple times for having the wrong socks or mine wasn't wrong color socks. Mine was the wrong length socks. He needed like long socks for PE, and I always wore like ankle socks, or vice versa. And no, I think it was a long socks for. Yeah, I think I was right. Long socks for PE, or like I didn't have my agenda with me when you to sign that off. Are you an atheist? I am. You cannot read good. That's alright. A lot of people can't. Sinner. Yeah, they didn't go like as hard as that, with you. You're a middleman, nice, just figuring stuff out. They didn't get as intense as you. I just had to walk. There was a running track in our gym, and I just had to like walk on the running track while everyone else played the sports games that I didn't want to play. So, shit, maybe I should have. No, I think I might have gotten a demerit because we had demerit systems where like if you get 5 demerits, you get a detention. I guess Catholic school really damaged you. Who's to say? There's a lot of things in my life that damaged me. Who's to say who did more or less? So did you read all those books? No, not all of them. Most all of those in high school, where I was like half paying attention, so like I don't know how much it really counts. And then a few of those I actually did like read through on my own for my own benefit. I've read this. I've read an electronic version of the King James. I've listened to an audiobook of the NRSV Bible twice. I want to read that next, but I want to get through another book. I've read this. I've read an e-version of the Quran. That's another Quran. I listened to an audiobook of the Book of Mormon, read the Bhagavad Gita, haven't read through the Catechism. I read one of those books. These are all textbooks. I didn't read through all of those. And then... half of those. Half of these, probably. I don't know, how did this other Jets book get all the way over here? What happened to my bookshelf? Who came and raided the crap out of my bookshelf? Sorry. So like a good amount of them. Now the Catholic school was just lame. It was what it was. What are the reasons to be an atheist and not a theist? The lack of evidence and reason to believe in a God. How am I supposed to believe in something that I don't have any reason to believe in? You like fantasy or sci-fi? They're alright. They're alright. Don't really find myself getting into either all too terribly much, but I don't have an issue with them. I do need to keep reading through those. I've started the thing that like all book readers, because I'm a book reader now, which I really haven't been much of throughout my life, but I'm trying to get better. Read 3 books this year already, which is incredible for me. But I've run into that thing where like you keep getting / buying more books, to add to the collection of books that you haven't read yet. And especially when it comes time to like, Christmas time, because I just ask for books, so I'll get like 10 new books. We're just religiously Hindu Buddhist. Interesting. Asked him, but all can share their thoughts as well. Sure. That's cool. I need to go outside more. Going outside is cool. I'm ready for the nicer weather, so that I can go outside more. Do you have any yeah, whenever somebody like asks me like, why are you an atheist? What why an atheist and not a theist? I always feel like kind of an ass, the way that I answer, but it's just like the truth. Why don't you believe in a God? I don't have reason to believe in a God. That's it. It's not like me trying to be an ass or anything. It's just like it really does become that simple, I have no need for that hypothesis. Yeah, I've used that a number of times. So far, I have no need for that hypothesis. What can you do? everybody's dead. Yeah, we'll get there. We're basically dead. You know, like in the grand scheme of things, like what's 100 years? You know, we're basically like dead tomorrow, alive for like a blink and then gone. It's pretty cool. I have a reason that is, I'm sorry, I have a reason that is peace of my mind and believing my God, but I don't believe in religious rules. I vibed like that for a while. Towards the tail end of my deconstruction, I was a theist. But I realized, you know, I had basically just created a God loosely based off of the Christian God, you know. So it's like I literally just made this version of a God up. So you know, what can you do? Still like there to be something out there. Fun fact, the inventor of petroleum jelly ate a spoonful of it every day and lived to be 96 years old despite that. Some people are built different. It's kind of sad to not believe that there's no higher being. Depends on the person. Some people prefer, you know, the idea of life without a higher being. Some people don't. I prefer the idea of life with, you know, something else out there, me personally. But it just kind of depends on the person. I need to believe in God or I will be a very bad person. I would have zero fear. Cool. I don't believe in a God and I'm a pretty decent person. Nice to meet you again. Good to see you. Welcome back. How long before cult worshipping and AI springs up? How long before cult worshipping and AI springs up? Bold of you to assume there hasn't been one formed yet. People can form cults about anything. It's out there somewhere. I follow a simple Hindu Buddhist philosophy of karma. That's it. I'm sorry. I don't want heaven or hell, but make my life on earth heavenly by helping others. Solid. I vibe more with the Eastern religions personally. Behind that thing right there reading this comment, hi, do you remember me? I'm right behind your eyes. We're alive. It's actually alive. It's perfect everything. Cool. Moderates just give people who do believe in the rules and push them to extremes in place of legitimacy, maybe. Honestly, being an atheist made me more depressed in life because of it, but I think it's better to be disillusioned rather than living a lie. To each their own. Honestly, to each their own. There are things that I miss about, you know, if we can use this language, being in the illusion, you know, of being a Christian or a theist, having that veil over my eyes or whatever. But overall, I've been happier since leaving. I have a job. I've been happier since leaving Christianity and becoming an atheist and all of that stuff. It's helped my mental health, my depression and anxiety and stress and stuff, me personally. But, you know, everyone's different. Life is an illusion? Maybe. Maybe. Who's to say, who's to know, you know? I certainly don't have the answers. Plus 32 subscribers in the last 28 days. Let's go. Why is everything in the right place? And why is the sky so blue, full of fish in a city full of fear? Not sure. According to you, can consciousness emerge out of totally unconscious matter? It seems to. That's the best explanation we have for it. I don't have the answers. I'm here to discuss the answers in the topics, not answer the answers. Now there are some things that I actually like have a stance on, obviously, but as far as like where did, you know, how does consciousness come from unconscious matter? I have no fucking idea. Sky is not blue. It appears to be blue due to scattered light and dust particles. True. Unconscious matter. Do you mean biological matter? I think it's just like, I understood the question. But it seems as stupid as saying something can come out of absolutely nothing. Well, I don't believe that something can come from nothing, because I don't really believe that nothing can do anything, assuming it even exists to begin with. Every time you eat, every time you eat, you turn non-living matter into life. This is true. Turn it into poop. Poop is the stuff that you don't use, but the stuff that you do use gets taken out to your skin, your blood, your organs, hair, whatever else. Replacing cells with what you put inside of your body. So, arguably, in a way, you are what you eat. Which I don't know if I like that. I just kind of just connected that dot. I don't really know if I like it. You are what you eat because, you transfer the nutrients and stuff into stuff that makes stuff in your body. Yeah. These give me more than the sum of their parts. I can agree. I eat 2 hot dogs for breakfast every day. Well, then part of those hot dogs are a part of who you are. A part of who you are. The truth is, we are mere humans, nothing compared to the universe. Scientifically, we can never know if there is a God, or even if we live for eternity. I absolutely agree. I don't know what that reference is. Breakfast of Champions. I don't know. I think my usual breakfast of like a cheese stick and a bag of peanut butter crackers is pretty fire. It's usually how I start my day. A cheese steak for breakfast. Why not? Also, hello, RM. I had a Philly cheesesteak at a restaurant recently. It was good. But, sir, can you personally ever prove to yourself, in principle I mean, that anything exists outside your own experience? No, you can't really solve the problem of hard solipsism. For all we know, it could just be a brain in a vat, or you could all be figments of my imagination, or we could be in a matrix, or, who really knows? But just so we can get literally anywhere in our quest to try to figure out what the fuck's going on here, we agree upon certain, like, grounding principles of, like, hey, this is reality, and we can usually trust our senses, and observation is the best way to do it, because it seems like that's just, like, the best way that works out, but it could all be wrong. Who knows? Awesome, thanks for the answer. Well, thank you. We also don't know God isn't there. I agree. If we can't know there is a God, we shouldn't believe in it. I agree. As long as we get enough protein in the morning, nothing else really matters. You're probably right. To a degree, good enough to be getting on with. Yeah. 34. I need to step up my protein game. I had 34 grams of protein today in breakfast. That's a good start. It depends on how we define God, too. Yeah, that's true. Because at the end of the day, whether there's a God or not, at the end of the day, we are things that exist. We don't know how, we don't know why, or if there's a why. We're just kind of here now, and we're trying to figure out why and what to do with that information. And that's all it is. That's really all it is. Science, religion, all that stuff is really just, we're here, and, like, what the fuck does that mean and why? And that's all it is. God could very much exist, or a being could share the universe with us that is, in every sense that matters, a God. But it's definitely not the Abrahamic God from the Bible. It doesn't seem like it. That, too, I eat only vegetarian food. Nice. Hey, babe.
Mm-hmm.
When did we make those hot dogs?
It's been a minute.
Okay. So there was one left in the fridge. That's right. I really didn't want to eat it anyway. The we comes out of an assumption that you personally made. I'm sorry. The we comes out of an assumption that you personally made about others not being just a figment of your imagination. You could be wrong about that, but you cannot ever be wrong about your experience. I mean, you can be wrong about your experience. I mean, first off, yes, we do just make assumptions about reality just so we can build our knowledge and stuff off of something, because otherwise we don't know anything. We don't really have anything to build off of. I think you could be wrong about your experience. Maybe not necessarily in the explanation of it, but like, you can take drugs and hallucinate and, swear that the Hat Man was in your room, even though it wasn't, you were just hallucinating. So that wouldn't be like objectively true that the Hat Man was in your room, but it can be objectively true that like you experienced the Hat Man in your room. What are we doing here creative? What's the position you're defending? Me? I have no idea. About the fact that you are having some sort of experience in me. Yeah. Hey, Mixed. Coming in with the hidden comment. Well, we wouldn't unless he interacted with us in an undeniable way. Yeah. And I don't know what that would be. And that's another like response that I feel bad for giving. But when people say like, what would it take for you to believe in God? And I think the answer I usually get, especially because I'm usually talking about the Christian God, it's just kind of the main topic of my content. I don't know what it would take to convince me that the Christian God is real, but that triomni God, an all-knowing God would know what it would take to convince me. An all-powerful God would be able to do what it takes to convince me. And an all-loving God who wants a relationship with me, who doesn't want me to go to hell for not believing, would want to prove himself to me, especially when I want to know if there's a God or not. Whether I like that God or not, I would like to know if there is something else out there. So, ball's kind of in God's court, because I have no idea. I used to give answers like, if I saw Jesus coming down on a cloud or, saw something miraculous, but, we have holograms and drones and Photoshop and AI and, hallucinogens. And I wouldn't know. If I saw something supernatural, the best explanation would be one of those natural things that I just explained, So I don't know. I have no idea what it would take to convince me that any God is real, but that God should know. Well, we wouldn't unless he interacted with us. Humans constantly hallucinate our reality. Yeah. I believe there is a God, but not the same of God how we think of them to be. Okay. Scientifically, nothing that is vacuum can never emit such energy to make the universe. But that also doesn't mean science approves God. Yeah, we have no idea what caused the Big Bang or the Big Expansion. We're pretty certain that it happened, but like, what caused it? I don't know. Best scientists don't really know. What feelings, emotions does death bring about in you? It depends on the day. Not to make it dark, because I know this is a sensitive topic for people, but like it depends on the day for me. Sometimes I can be talking about death and I can be like smiling and joking and it's like, as whatever, I'll rot in the ground forever as I cease to exist, ha ha. And then like sometimes I'm on the ground, having a panic attack. So I'm usually somewhere in between one of those. When I really think about it, I have like exercises of like, no, hey, you've thought about this, you've come to terms with this stuff, it's not so bad. And I'm a lot more at peace with it. But yeah. There were 4 forces that caused the Big Bang. We know that. IRC, it was electromagnetic, weak, strong nuclear, and I want to say the last was gravity. I don't know. You know more than I do. It's literally a lot more complex topic than it seems. I am no genius, just a normal traveler of my life who enjoys and to learn. Yeah, I like learning. Learning's pretty good. You ever plan on getting divorced?
Not if I have anything to say about it.
Eh. We'll see.
That's what you have to say.
I'm still seeing, you know? We've only been together 14 years. I don't know.
14 years.
Is something stuck on your neck? Maybe. Yeah, I don't know what you want from me. We've only been together for 14 years. You know, grew up, spent like over half of our lives together. Have a house and a kid and
It's
cats
15
and
years
whatnot.
this year.
15 years this year. I don't know. I guess I haven't decided yet.
Wow. 15 years. Good to say.
At least you would agree that inexistence cannot be feared, right? It's not my favorite thing to think about. If Mrs. Taylor chooses to continue completing her wifely duties without complaining, then she has nothing to worry about. Exactly. These are jokes, by the way. If needed in existence is the case after death. In existence might be my least favorite death outcome. I think I'd much prefer if there was like anything else. It kind of is what it is at the end of the day. You can make peace with it. I would disagree. Creative. I have a massive fear of death and morality. Specifically because mortality specifically, I don't know, because I believe in existence after death. Yes, it's definitely not my favorite thing to think about. But at the end of the day, it's one of those things where there's either something there or there's not, And it's just, it is what it is. Worry about shit that you can actually control and do something about. Like the trash needs to be taken down to the curb every week. And if you don't do that, then, your trash piles up and you just have a whole mess. There either is something else after this or it's non-existence. And there's fuck all you can do about it. Now, some religions can claim that you can decide, which after party you end up going to. But as far as, whether or not there is non-existence or existence after death, there is fuck all you can do about that. Nothing. So you might as well focus on things that you can control and actually have, like, consequences for you, not taken care of. Like literally the trash needing to go down to the curb once a week requires more of your attention. It should get more of your attention than whether or not there's an afterlife. That's my opinion. I don't fear death anymore, just happy that I got a chance to live on such a beautiful planet. Life's alright. I think the fear is the driving force of why religion was created, personally. It's definitely part of it. How old was Mary when she was pregnant with Jesus? My pastor said she was 12. I thought it was 14. Not that makes it better.
It was like 13.
Taylor thinks it's 13. Underaged.
Either way.
Most people don't understand that the Bible says God will ultimately destroy the souls of people who... Smokey, I'm reading. Yep. Go ahead and flash your butthole to the camera. That's what the people want to see.
What'd she do?
She just turned. I think it was blurry, but she just turned and presented her butthole to the camera.
Oh gosh. Kitty cat. This is not
Most
that
people
type of
don't understand. This is not that type of stream. That's Saturday nights. Most people don't understand that the Bible says God will ultimately destroy the souls of people who don't want to live eternally. Maybe. Pragmatism, then? Explaining pragmatism. I'm not going to tell you what my dick looks like. A Catholic school gave me the impression Mary was 12 to 14. Sounds like that's the general consensus, 12 to 14. The Bible says unicorns exist too. Not exactly a great source. Nah. I don't think 13 is a good age. Depends on what you're talking about. The Bible doesn't say. We only know that traditionally she would have been 12 to 16 at the stage of her life. I don't think it meant literal unicorns, though. Who the fuck knows with the Bible? Even though I was born Hindu, but I read many religions, but there is fear more than answers. Fair. Shit's scary. The unknown is scary. Doesn't unicorns mean a company which is worth more than $1 billion? I have no idea. I have no idea what you're talking about there. Yeah, and then there was Muhammad and his wife. Religion, protecting child marriage for thousands of years. Isn't it great? Isn't it awesome? Don't you just like want more of that? Only 0.0001% of humans that ever existed will make it into heaven, and I'm pretty sure 0% of dinosaurs got in. Why even go then if there's not dinosaurs? In economics, unicorn means companies with valuation of $1 billion. That's insane. She was 6. Yeah, she was young. I haven't looked as deeply into that, but I know she was younger. Is it wrong that I like to go into bigoted religious live streams and gaify their premise of God and Jesus as an iconoclastic parody? I mean, you do you. Spooky. What are you doing, sweet girl? What are you doing, sweet girl? Maybe. Is it almost bedtime?
She starts getting a little more antsy when it gets closer to bedtime, doesn't she?
Mm-hmm. She wants to go to bed. She usually cuddles up to me all night.
She needs her
Why does your hair match the cat? It doesn't. Her hair is like brown and gray. Mine is, the blondish and brown. Ancient India, Greece, and Rome had far more real intellectuals than we are having in the whole world now. Yeah, maybe. Are you colorblind? They do match. I am colorblind. But no, Smokey's non-colorblind person who's not watching the stream through a camera. They're saying mine and Smokey's hair match. No.
Maybe in the camera where the lights hit her, certain parts of the kind of brown in her fur do.
I'm sure.
No.
Alright, sweetie. Alright, sweetie. No scratch me, please.
She just wants cuddles.
Are you aware of split brain patients? No. I'm not. Any tips? My cat keeps drinking water out of the toilet. I'm afraid she is going to catch. I don't know what that is. Close the toilet lid. Did you hear that people claim that he just said, yeah, I've heard all that stuff. I don't know. Split brain patients are super interesting. It sounds interesting. One of those cat fountains. What about one of those cat fountains? I have a fountain in my room, in my office here. I rarely have it on because it's loud as fuck, but... And if I'm in here, I'm usually either doing a live stream or making content or working. Oh, one of those cat fountains so it doesn't drink out of the toilet, yeah. I have one of those, like, little things where it has like the jug of water that like keeps filling up the bowl as it like gets emptied.
Gravity.
Cats like it. Well, God loves you, and He will turn you off when He is done or work in your life until you become the instrument of His will. Have a nice night. Solid. You didn't capitalize God. I don't know if that was a legitimate like thing, but who knows? Who knows? I'm not going to answer that question, buddy. You should check it out. It's as if there are two people inside one body. Reality challenges our ideas of really challenges our idea of individual persons. You look sad? I'm a little tired today. The rainbow jaff bestows leaves upon you. Nice. A little tired today. Today was actually a pretty good day, not gonna lie. It was alright.
I'm glad your day was alright.
Yeah, her job is about to go bananas. We'll have to talk about that after this stream. Back to uniforms is crazy. It's unbelievable.
I wanna
Yeah. I had a question for the lady. Yeah, a question for the lady.
Oh.
She didn't drink water. Go drink water. Drink your water.
What is the question?
If Taylor was Jewish, would you leave her? Probably not.
If I was Jewish?
Yeah, that's not the same person. But
Oh.
I would have to. Obviously, there would be discussions that would need to be had as far as raising our child. But other than that, no. Probably not. Well, she's also not Jewish, so like it doesn't even matter mixed.
Now, if we had differing opinions with raising the child, it might cause issues that ultimately don't end up well for our marriage. But nah.
I'm not gonna ask that. Would you have to worry about it if you had a? Would you have to worry about it if you had a boy? I forgot. I think I'd have to worry about it either way. Obviously for different reasons, but also check out congenital twins, along with split brain patients, consciousness dividing and merging in such cases. Very interesting. You know, like we have understandings of things in the universe, in the world, and whatnot, in biology, and we put things into boxes. But you gotta understand that the universe doesn't really give a fuck about our boxes and regularly breaks them. Regularly puts things outside of them. Boxes are things that we make up to help us understand the universe a little bit better. There's boxes and categories, but they don't actually exist. Torah, Bible, Quran describe as infinite scripture about their childish faith, and their sky daddy failed to move from milk to solid food. They're big babies, emotionally, spiritually infants to be believers. Maybe. I'm gonna end the live stream soonish. I'm gonna ask some crazy questions sometimes, but I don't mean any harm. I just won't read them, you know. and we move past. Religious fanatic. Yuck. Who? Who's the religious fanatic? I am actually pretty fanatic about religion, but like not like in the traditional sense. I just like religion. Love your channel. Thank you. I appreciate it. I've been having a lot more fun with the channel lately. I'm just making more of these live streams, more content, seeing its growth and whatnot. So when you say I, me, or you, are these just made up categories to you? No. Because there are like I, me's, and you's, but like a lot of life exists on more of a spectrum and not like boxes, and we find shit outside of our boxes all the time. Like split brain, you know, congenital twins and all that stuff. All words are made up. This is true. But yeah, and yeah, at the end of the day, I, me, my, they're just words we made up to describe things. Again, you know, we're just things that exist and are trying to like do something with that and figure out what's going on and why and what to do with that information. That's really all I think religion and science are really, you know, philosophy or anything comes down to. Life comes down to is like we're here, and what does that even mean? Socially agreed upon. Socially agreed upon. Pop. Get some food and go to sleep. That's what I need to do tonight.
Alright, love, I think I got them all separated.
Sweet. You should try taking what you say all the way instead of stopping in the middle as per your convenience. Did I do something wrong? You support Palestine? I support the innocent civilians caught in the conflict. If there is some type of higher power, then the idea of individuality, I, me, you, can easily be muddled. Can be, depending on the higher power as well. We're getting an animated firefly. I don't know what that means. What would you do if when you okay, so he said yes would go? I'm sorry, I don't know the question. What would you do if when okay, so he said yes would go? I'm sorry, I don't understand the question. Not a brown goat? I don't know what that is, so clearly not. Firely, the Batman villain? I have no idea. I don't know who that is either. You support Israel at all? I support the innocent civilians caught in the middle. I think the world is run by fucking children who need to murder each other and each other's civilians when they don't get along. But I stand fully with all innocent civilians caught in the middle of whatever conflict is going on at whatever corner of the world. Oh, it's a game show. Interesting. Do you read fantasy novels like Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, etc.? No. I read Magic Treehouse quite a bit when I was a kid, but I think that's pretty much the extent. Of course, I never really read much when I was a kid. I do a lot more reading now that I'm an adult, but usually it's more religious studies based, which, you know, some might argue is fantasy, but, you know, I'm not going to say it. Stop warring. Jeez. It's war. What is it? What is it good for? Fucking primitive ass children. No war would be great. No war would be pretty great, you know, if we could all grow the fuck up and just like sit down and deal with our issues like grown ass adults and not, you know, throw bombs at each other like primitive children getting upset and scared over dumbest little things. That'd be pretty cool. Your facial tick is cute and suit tie. Well, good. Place the second E with a W in the word. Okay. I used to like try to like hide it and like control it in streams and videos, and I just like gave up. I was like, I don't care. That's just bigoted. What's just bigoted? Did I say something? First time see this channel on my feed and join your live when I read Atheist. I like your opinion on war. Well, thank you. And thank you for being here. Thank you all for being here. I think I am going to go ahead and end the stream, but thank you. I'm always appreciative. I say it every time because I mean it every time. I'm always appreciative when anyone doesn't just scroll past my live stream. I'm a random nobody on the internet. I don't really deserve any kind of attention or anything. The Magic Treehouse stories, I can't remember who wrote them. I mean, I don't deserve anyone's, you know, love and attention. So the fact that people stop even for a second to like watch or, you know, lurk or chat, comment, like, subscribe, whatever, when people come back, you know, for future live streams or, you know, go watch my content or whatever, it's just, it's cool, you know, it's interesting to me. Especially, you know, these past live streams have been doing a little bit better since I started this new schedule. The channel's been growing, and it's nice. And I like it. So thank you all so much for being here. I usually go live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday nights, starting somewhere between 9 and 10 p.m. CST. And then I usually go live for about an hour. And hope to see you all in another stream. I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day, night, whenever you're watching this.